Am I the asshole for not sharing the beach house? 12 years ago our grandparents died, leaving their beach house to me, 37 female, and my brother, 35 male. The place is within drivable distance of my town. My work is such that I can do it remotely a lot of the time. I now have 2 small children. Because of all these factors, through the years, I've been in the beach house much more, basically summering in it, while my brother, who lives much more distant, only crashes occasionally or requests it for a couple of weeks, while I often nipped in through the winter. My brother is now married to my sil, 25 female. My sil has very specific ideas of what their new married life will be like: Pinterest board, custom hashtag for social media, cricket affirmations pasted around the house. The beach house features prominently in it. Despite their having to drive 4 hours to get to it, she insists we should divide time equally, and leave it free if they want it, and that she may redecorate to make it more hers. I have redecorated that house to suit me. I asked my brother for no money, except for structural issues. There are 3 bedrooms, so there are no reasons we couldn't be there together. My brother literally told me he wasn't there enough to care about swapping use of the main bedroom, which is the only seafront one, and in which my husband has built our bed. She wants that particularly, claiming it would be their perfect love nest. I think it's my bedroom, and while she's welcome to my brother's, she can't have mine. As well, we had established how to work it. I have built my patterns around it, and I don't want to change it now. She says she can't be there while we're there because it would ruin the feeling of retreat. My brother is happy with whatever she's happy with, but I know very well determined opposition on my part will make him back down. The last discussion we had about it, when I pointedly asked, would she like to decoupage, live love laugh, on the kitchen table? He winced and left the room. So if I want to hold on to the house on my terms, I can. But does it make me the asshole? To be clear, I don't object to their being here more. I don't object to their having more alone time. I don't object to their redecorating their room, bathroom. However, I don't object to their bringing some things in. But I object to having to swap my room after 12 years, having her overhaul spaces I redecorated and spent money on, and agreeing to a rigid 50-50 schedule when I already know my brother's CBA with regular long drives. ETA. You guys. I'm totally fine with being called an aw. But I find it hilarious that people here think my brother is an unfortunate and bullied soul. He left our hometown to strike out on his chosen career. He did wonderfully. He bought a house before me and my husband did. He adores traveling abroad, and until he met Sil he wasn't keen on romantic commitment. I'd spend weekends pottering about the house and he'd fly to Bangkok to hike. And that was wonderful for both of us. The issue here is that he is conflict avoidant and unwilling to discuss this with me and my sister-in-law. I certainly flipped out, and I am happy admitting it and bringing discussion back. But believe you me, he wasn't in the beach house because he was having the time of his life elsewhere. Reddit, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your brother is suddenly changing what he's agreed to because his new wife is demanding it. They don't get to redecorate with your approval since you own half. Good luck with the new negotiations. If you have the cash or credit, buy his share. No assholes here. It is half your brother's place too, and he has rights. But I would advise buying your brother out pronto for a peaceful life. His new family can then buy and decorate their perfect retreat in a place and manner of their choosing. IG eagerly awaits the blessing with bated breath. The house was gifted to both of you. If you want it the way you want it, then you should buy out your brother's portion. Your sil sounds unreasonable, but considering you have taken it over, you're not much to talk. Nah. Sounds like she's excited about the lifestyle the beach house will give without considering how you view and use it. To me, sounds like you all need to sit down together and agree on terms, like those last bullet points in your last paragraph. Make an agreement. She needs to know how much time you've put into it already and how sentimental you feel about the place and redecoration that's already done. I'd suggest including in the agreement that any redecoration or changes going forward need to have 4 yes votes. Not the asshole, and my condolences on having a child for a sil sad face. You are the asshole. You're treating them as guests when they have the right to the house just as much as you and your husband. And it's not your room, it's both yours and your brother's. YTA. You need to compromise on some things. I would say the bedroom would be a no compromise. I was going to suggest a lock on the door, but if they have guests, then the room should be available. As far as other decorations, meet with Sil to hear her ideas and you can put forth yours. Nah. Just sell it and split the proceeds. County owning a home is no longer working out. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to have his therapy session somewhere else? Me, F34, and my husband, M33, live in a 2-bedr apartment. He started recently attending online therapy. Reasons? No reason in particular. No losing family member, no recent traumas or accidents. He just says he feels too overwhelmed with work. He works a demanding job, but I won't mention it because I don't want him to be judged for it. He wanted to let off some steam and attend therapy. I 100% encouraged him and said, go for it. However, these therapy sessions have been happening for a period of 3 months. And he'd have 2 sessions in just one day. He says he found another therapist, which is illogical to me, but anyway. He'd stay in the bedroom for hours on end, preventing me from coming in. I'm talking 3 to 4 hours a day, and whenever I walk into the bedroom, which was only twice, the laptop gets slammed shut and my husband would just stare at me confused. I pointed out how rude it was to do this to his therapists, and he aggressively replied that what's really rude is the way I barge in while he's trying to have his therapy session. He told me if I walk in one more time he will take matters into his own hands. Yesterday I had an emergency and had to get inside the bedroom to get my pad pack, which I keep in my closet. I kept knocking but he didn't answer, so I walk in quietly, but he immediately shuts his laptop and looks enraged, then says, "Oh, so we doing this? Okay." Then he gets off his chair and starts lashing out, saying, "I'm struggling here and you don't even pretend to give a shit anymore. It's called privacy and you should respect that. Now get out." I get out and he locks the door. I was fuming at this point but managed to get my pad before he kicked me out. Out of respect I waited till his session was over and started arguing with him about how utterly bad it was of him to lock me out of the room that's supposed to be a shared space between us. He said he had to lock me out because of my barging, snooping and continuous disrespect of his privacy. I straight up said he needed to start having his therapy session somewhere else, since it's not okay for him to keep the bedroom busy for 4 hours. That's just too much. He said I could go in and take whatever I need before he locks the door, but I won't take all my stuff out. That is not logical to me. I told him he could take his laptop and really go anywhere else, whether in the apartment, coffee shop, car or even the parking lot. He shamed me and said this is his apartment too, and that I was being negative and disrespectful instead of supportive and understanding of his situation. We've been arguing about it for hours till now. Now I'm leaving this to you. Am I wrong for asking him that? Edit #1. I'd like to clarify that it's not every day but multiple days a week. And 2, some of you here guessed what his work is, and I agree that he could use some therapy, and I supported him when he first started and also suggested the other room since he's a very private person and has issues opening up about whatever struggle he's dealing with. Still he thinks I'm not helping and causing him more stress and anxiety. I don't believe for a second that this is therapy. He's addicted to porn or video chatting another woman. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He's not doing actual therapy for 4 hours. He's slamming the laptop shut and yelling at you because he's doing shit he shouldn't be. That's why he can't do it anywhere else. Therapist sessions are 50 minutes 1 hour in length, and I've never found a therapist who does more than weekly sessions. Believe me, I've tried. Something else is going on here. 3-4 hours a day would mean he would have 15-20 diff therapists. I'm not buying it. I've been in therapy on and off my entire life. Sessions are typically between 45 minutes to 1 hour. Something strange is going on here. Not the asshole. But I'd have some questions if I were you. Therapy? Or porn? I would have some questions, too. Maybe you should be introduced to his online therapists. Not the asshole. There is no such thing as a 4-hour, remote therapy session. He's doing something he doesn't want you to see. Not the asshole. There is no way those are therapy sessions. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This isn't therapy. Therapy lasts for 50 minutes or so, usually at a time. It can be exhausting for both parties. And while it's important to be supportive, no therapist would require him to keep you essentially out of your home in this way. I take it he's law enforcement. Absolutely support therapy. But not at this cost. Who pays for the therapy? Can you discreetly check to see what's going on? Though to be honest, the threats, the explosions, I'm more worried about if you feel safe, and whether you guys should be together right now while you are going through this. Am I the asshole for embarrassing my mother in front of the family? Since I was a child, my mother was always responsible for the money that they gave me as gifts. It is something that I completely understood. After all, I would surely spend it on sweets or toys. But when I got older I decided that it was better if I was responsible for my own money and learn the value of earning things with my own money. Something I urgently needed at the time was a new computer. My old computer was as slow as a turtle and doing school assignments and projects was quite difficult. Every time someone gave me money as a gift I left it in a small glass jar. I was excited and happy to be able to get closer to my goal, until one day my mother asked me for money. For me it was strange that she asked me for some money to borrow. She worked as a babysitter and we didn't have financial problems. When I asked her what the money was for she told me it was to buy a gift for my stepfather. Somehow I didn't feel comfortable giving her some money so I put the only condition that she had to pay me back. After all the money was for a new computer. She accepted taking $50 the first time. Time passed and I asked for my money back. She told me that she would give it to me later. The weeks passed and I ended up giving up. The next time my uncle was in our house and he gave me a generous gift of $100. I was very happy to have more money to get my new computer. When he left my mother come to my room and asked me for the $100. I asked her why she wanted my money again. To my surprise this time the money was to buy a Christmas gift for my stepfather. A very expensive drone. This time I told her that I wouldn't give her my money. I didn't want to repeat the same experience of waiting for my money and not receiving anything in return. Somehow my mother convinced me by making me feel guilty. I gave her the money and like the last time she promised me that she would pay it back. Weeks had passed and I was quite frustrated. One day I asked my mother when she would pay me my money. I needed that money for a new computer since my old computer was dying and falling apart. She got upset and started screaming that I was an ungrateful brat. She didn't have to pay me back since she raised me and kept me in her womb for 9 months and that she never charged me for all the money she spent raising me. This is where I could be the bad guy. Annoyed by her broken promises and lies about giving me my money during a family reunion, my brain got the idea that maybe if I exposed her in front of the family this would make her give me my money. During a chat with my aunt I made a little joke about how to get a new computer was difficult when my mother didn't pay me the money she owed me. My mother laughs nervously and when we got home she threw the money in my face shouting that here was my money and that she would never ask me for anything again because obviously I was a selfish person who only think about himself. I felt pretty bad that night but I didn't want to apologize for my actions. Am I the bad guy? Not the asshole. Your money was a gift to you from your family. It's very wrong for her to ask you for money given to you. On top of that, using the money for gifts for your stepfather? Why couldn't she wait until she had the money herself to get him presents? That just seems fishy. So much not the asshole. You are a kid and this is your money from gifts. She should also be buying you a new computer so you can do your schoolwork properly. That said, I think it's amazing that you are already knowledgeable about money and are saving. So many adults do not have that life skill. Not the asshole. Children don't ask to be born. Parents are responsible to care for them without any expectation of the child reimbursing them in any way. She's a thief stealing from her own kid. Not the asshole, though your mom may have taught you one of the most important lessons: never mix family and finance. Not the asshole. I am so sorry this is how your mom acts. She sounds narcissistic and reminds me of my own. You're the child and she shouldn't be asking for money from you for a gift for your stepdad. She's a grown woman and should know better. You did the right thing to get your money back. She's an asshole for throwing in your face that she raised you as if she wasn't the one who made the decision to have you. Don't let her guilt trip you. You did what you had to do. Not the asshole. Family embarrassment sometimes is the only way to get stuff done. Your opinion and feelings don't matter, only her appearance to others. Don't apologize. She shouldn't be buying things for stepdad she can't afford. She never had any intentions of paying you back. Also, hide the money. If she can see it she will want it because she knows it's there. She is selfish and entitled. Don't let her know how much money you have ever. NTA. She didn't keep her word. Rest all she said is emotion BS. Next time don't lend her money. Not sure how old you are, not sure if it does even matter. That kind of abusive behavior can hurt adult descendants too. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she embarrassed me by bringing a meal to my work? I 33M recently got hired at a large company in the South where me and my wife moved months ago. My wife was excited for my new job and talked about preparing a surprise for me which got me excited but I didn't what it was till she showed up at my workplace 2 days ago with a meal she said she prepared specifically for me since it's my favorite. Apparently this was her surprise. I was little upset she brought it to my workplace. My co-workers who are vicious and brutally honest and sarcastic got involved and kept teasing me about the meal. One of them, Austin, joked about how, "Mommy is so supportive by bringing food to my workplace." I felt like shit as he and other coworkers kept laughing at me. I went to work the next day and Austin kept making jokes about me saying shit like, "Is Mommy going to bring lunch today as well?" And, "When is Mommy coming to change your diaper?" And some other shit. One of them, who's someone I don't know well, said, "Oh you guys, I can still smell the meal. My name's Mom brought yesterday. She's such great cook, bless her heart." And the goddamned giggles kept on. I felt so awful I went home and just blew up at my wife, telling her she flat out fucking embarrassed me and just torpedoed any goddamned prestige and respect I had among my coworkers. I told her what Austin and others have been doing and asked if she was happy for giving him ammo to come at me like that. She argued that she was just trying to do something nice for me and didn't care about what people might say, but I was a selfish jerk who only cares about what others think rather than how she felt by my constant berating over a meal she put effort, money and time to make and bring to me. The argument escalated after I suggested that she could have waited till I got home to surprise me with this goddamned meal instead of showing up while I was working, which made me seem unprofessional. She said she came during lunch break, but I was still working during lunch break. She said at this point I clearly find it easier to blame her than stand up for myself against those childish bullies. I said I didn't appreciate what she said, but she replied that I should be grateful she cared enough to bring me a home-cooked meal, then thanked me for showing her it's not worth wasting any more of her time cooking for me after this. I told her to stop blaming me for something she caused and asked her to admit that maybe she should have consulted me before bringing the meal over so I could avoid being the goddamned butt of every joke my coworkers told. I don't even know how long this is going to last. She told me to man up and either report them or quit then. I was floored by what she said. I had to walk out because I couldn't take any more of this and felt like she wasn't listening to how her behavior caused me an issue at work. Edit to say that I in no way don't appreciate my wife's effort, but the only problem I have is that she didn't tell me beforehand about whether it was okay to bring the meal over to my workplace. I really preferred that she waited till I got home, or we could have gone out later to eat. I agree that the main problem I have is my coworkers, but I lashed out because I felt overwhelmed with their hurtful remarks that offended my wife as well. "You are the asshole, they're jealous and you're an ingrate," like your wife said. "You are the asshole, your work friends are just jealous. Ignore them, they wish they had someone that thought that much of them. Your wife put her hard work into your surprise. Any issues you have with her over this, will guarantee you never get another fine meal served like you are royalty. You are the asshole." How, exactly, did your wife directly cause the bullying? Did she tell them to mock you? Did she join in? No, she didn't. Your coworkers are just dicks. You are the asshole. You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude. But they don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you. You are the asshole. Good God. PSA. Your coworkers would have found something else to give you shit about. Don't kid yourself about that. Your wife went above and beyond to treat you with respect and love, and you trashed it because you want to fit in with a bunch of dicks? You are the asshole if this is even true. Your wife is a saint. If this happened to me, my coworkers would just be jealous their spouse didn't do it for them. You are the asshole at home. Austin and co are tush at work. Your wife did something nice for you, you should appreciate that. A workplace is a professional environment. Austin is acting unprofessionally and should be reported to HR. You are the asshole and a bad husband in this instance. What the hell? Your coworkers sound like jerks, and instead of telling them this and that you're sorry no one cares about them enough to cook for them and bring it to work, you yell at your wife. She deserves better. So much better.